Tonight, a homeless camp just north of Atlantic Beach is no more. You can see from pictures here that crews use dump trucks with a crane on it to remove the massive pile of debris and possessions at Dutton Island Preserve. Our Zach Wilcox joins us live from Dutton Island Preserve right now. And Zach, there are hardly any remnants of that camp right now.
Yeah, Jeannie, I talk with folks, and you can go either left or right when you get to Dutton Island Preserve, and several told me they just never turned right because of the amount of trash and possessions, as you mentioned, on the right side of this trail here. So they're relieved that they can now use this trail as part of their walking when they're out here, but they do feel, and they feel for the folks that may have been displaced by all this, who were living back there.
It's sad, you know, it's too common. I mean, I can understand why, but, you know, there's got to be a better solution.
Victor Brown says some tough times have led to him living out of his van. He says he knew one of the people living in Dutton Island Preserve's homeless encampment and was surprised to see the whole area emptied.
I know what that's like. It's happened to me a few times. Just like, well, if you get bulldozed, too bad. Just as long as it's not happening to them, they don't care.
Atlantic Beach Police Chief Victor Gualilo says the department received several calls from park goers about the issue, and the cleanup didn't happen overnight.
We've had Sulzbacher's outreach team out there to try and find some housing for these folks. That didn't seem to work. One of the things we try and always incorporate into our interactions with the homeless population is letting them know they have services available and trying to put them in touch with those services.
Jacksonville City Council member Rory Diamond points out the new state law that prohibits camping at public buildings, streets, and parks, like Dutton Island Preserve, has to be enforced or the cities could face lawsuits.
These homeless camps they're bad for everybody. They're bad for the neighborhood, they're bad for crime, and they're bad for the homeless because nobody really wants to live in a camp like that. And the police are right to go and do this work.
Diamond says he's also received calls about the old Amoco gas station nearby on Mayport Road, but that presents a different issue since it's on private property.
We have to go through a whole process of notices to get a camp shut down, but we're on it. We are working on getting that particular one done.
The chief of police mentioned that there wasn't anyone out here when they did clear this encampment, so they will be sending patrols out here regularly just to make sure that it doesn't build back up at any point. And they're going to continue to crack down on this, but he did mention that there aren't any other places on public property that they're aware of at this point. So if they do become aware of any, they'll go through a similar several-month-long process. In Atlantic Beach, Zach Wilcox, First Coast News, on your side.